Hello, welcome to the next episode of the dictionary. First word today is abution. This is a noun from circa 1578. Any of a genus, and then in parentheses it says abutilon, A-B-U-T-I-L-O-N, of plants of the mallow family, often having lobed leaves and solitary bell-shaped flowers. Next we have abutment. Etymology for this is NL, I can't remember, something Latin, I think. Genus name from AR, abutilon, A-W-B-U-T-I-L-U-N, which is also abutilon without the W. That was very helpful, thank you. Next we have abutment, noun from 1644. 1. The place at which abutting occurs. So like if the first example I could think of, if a street comes up to a curb or grass, that area is called the abutment. Number 2, the part of a structure, as an arch or a bridge, that directly receives thrust or pressure. It's funny that the word thrust is coming up because I just watched an episode of Colbert Show last night, and the guest mentioned the word thrust. Next entry is, how do you pronounce this? Abutiz? A-B-U-T-T-A-I-S. It looks French. It's not giving me any information about a French form. Pronunciation looks like it says abatiz, I think. Noun from 1630. The boundaries of lands with respect to adjacent lands. Abutter, A-B-U-T-T-E-R. Noun from 1673. One that abuts, specifically the owner of a contiguous property. Next we have abutting, adjective, 1599. That abuts or serves as an abutment. Synonyms are adjoining and bordering. I did not expect to be saying the word but so much. Next we have abuzz, A-B-U-Z-Z, adjective, 1859, filled or resounding with, or as if with a buzzing sound, as in a lake abuzz with outboards, and that is related to boats. Especially filled with talk or excitement, as in an office abuzz with rumors. Different kind of buzz there. Or as in a town abuzz with anticipation of the big game. Next we have abbey, spelled A-B-Y or A-B-Y-E. This is before the 12th century. Verb, archaic form, or I guess it's just the one thing. It is an archaic word which means to suffer a penalty for. Etymology is from the Middle English abien, A-B-I-E-N, which is from Old English, not sure how to pronounce this, A-B-Y-C-G-A-N, which is combining A plus the rest of it, which means to buy. And there's more information at the word abide or buy, B-U-Y. Next we have abysm. This is a noun from 14th century. Synonym just says abyss. So it's like an abyss, as in the dark, backward, and abysm of time. That's from Shakespeare. That's a nice new form of a word that I wasn't aware of. Etymology for this is Middle English, a beam or a bime, A-B-I-M-E, which is from Anglo-French abysme, A-B-I-M-E, S-M-E, which is a modified form of the Latin abyssus. I think that's what it's saying. Next we have abysmal. I wonder if this is related at all to the last word. Adjective, circa 1656. 1A, having immense or fathomless extension downward, backward, or inward, as in an abysmal cliff. And yes, this is definitely from the same form of abysm. 1B, immeasurably great. Profound is a synonym, as in abysmal ignorance. 1C, immeasurably low or wretched, as in abysmal living conditions of the poor. 2 is just the synonym abyssal, abyssal. Abysmally is the adverb. Next we have abyss. This is a noun from 14th century. 1. The bottomless gulf, pit, or chaos of the old cosmogonies? It's a really interesting definition, just very visceral sounding, but I don't know what that last word is. I'll find out in probably 5 years. 2A, an immeasurably deep gulf or great space. 2B, intellectual or moral depths. And there's a great movie called The Abyss. You should check it out if you haven't seen it. Etymology for abyss is Middle English abyssus from the Latin abyssus. The only difference there is first is with an I, the second one is with a Y. From the Greek abyssos, abyssos, adjective which means bottomless, which is formed from combining a and byssos, which means depth, perhaps akin to the Greek word bathys, B-A-T-H-Y-S, which means deep. Next we have abyssal, abyss with A-L added to the end. This is an adjective from 1661. 1, just the synonym unfathomable. 2, of or relating to the bottomless waters of the ocean depths. Next we have abyssal plain, P-L-A-I-N, noun from 1954. Any of the great flat sediment-covered areas of ocean floor. It says see the continental shelf illustration. And we'll have to go to that word or phrase to see the illustration. Next we have Abyssinian with a capital A. This is a noun from 1876. Any of a breed of medium-sized, slender domestic cats of African origin with short, usually brownish hair ticked with bands of darker color. This is from Abyssinia, the Kingdom of Africa. I would love to see a picture of one of those. I will have to take a look when I'm editing this. But sorry, you will have to Google that on your own because this is not a video. Next we have AC, both lowercase. This is an abbreviation for 1, the word account, 2, the word acre, or 3, before meals. And you would wonder why AC is an abbreviation for before meals, and that is because it is from the Latin ante cibum or ante cibum. Next we have AC dash, and it just says CAD dash. So we'll come to that in a few episodes. Next we have dash AC. This is a noun, a suffix. It means one affected with, as in hemophiliac. There's the AC at the end. This is from the Latin dash acus, acus, which is from the Greek akos, A-K-O-S, which is a variation of ikos, I-K-O-S. Next we have capital A, lowercase c. This is an abbreviation for altocumulus. I wonder if that's related to clouds at all. I've never heard of altocumulus, but I know cumulus is a type of cloud. We have another capital A, lowercase c. This is the symbol for actinium. I'm assuming that is one of the elements. I never memorized the periodic table. Next we have capital A, capital C, abbreviation for 1, air conditioning, 2, alternating current, 3, before Christ, and that is from the Middle English ante Christum. That's where you get the AC. Also 4, area code, and 5, athletic club. Next, we're getting to the end of this episode. Acacia, A-C-A-C-I-A, noun from 14th century. Number 1, it just says gum Arabic. That's a synonym. And the reason I know that this is a synonym is because it's in all small caps. Number 2, any of a large genus, acacia, of leguminous shrubs and trees of warm regions with leaves pinnate, or reduced to phyllodes, phyllodes, and white or yellow flower clusters. Another thing I might have to look up to see what that looks like. And last word for today is ACAD, A-C-A-D. This is an abbreviation for either academic or academy. Thank you for listening to the whole episode. If you want to email me, you can do that at dictionarypod@gmail.com or Twitter @dictionarypod. There's also a Facebook page and a Patreon page in case you want to give me money, because it does take some time to record and edit these. I do this all myself. Thank you for listening. Talk to you in the next episode. Goodbye. Hello. Welcome to another episode of The Dictionary. First word today is academe, A-C-A-D-E-M-E. Noun from 1588. 1A, a place of instruction. 1B, the academic life, community, or world, as in the halls of academe. Number 2, synonym is academic, or especially pedant, P-E-D-A-N-T. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is from the Latin academus, in the phrase inter syllabus academi. That's all in italics. Among the groves of academus. Next we have academia. This is a noun from 1946. Synonym is just academe, the word we just said. This is from the Latin academy. Next we have the first form of academic. This is a noun from 1587. 1, a member of an institution of learning. Number 2, a person who is academic in background, outlook, or methods. 3, this is plural, academic subjects, as in has no interest in academics. As an adult, I have more of an interest in academics and learning and schooling. When I was younger, I was somewhat interested, but as an adult, I've just learned that there's so much out there that I don't know that I think is really worth knowing. So I'm not opposed to learning anymore. Next, we have another form of academic, also academical. This is an adjective from 1588. 1A, of, relating to, or associated with an academy or school, especially of higher learning. 1B, of or relating to performance in academic courses, as in academic excellence. 1C, very learned, but inexperienced in practical matters, as in academic thinkers. 1D, based on formal study, especially at an institution of higher learning. 2, of or relating to literary or artistic rather than technical or professional studies. 3A, synonyms are theoretical and speculative, as in an academic question. 3B, having no practical or useful significance. 4, conforming to the traditions or rules of a school, as of literature or art, or an official academy. Conventional is the synonym, as in academic painting. Academically is the adverb. Next is academic freedom, noun from 1863. Freedom to teach or to learn without interference as by government officials. I would say that's a pretty good thing. Academician. Nope, that's probably not. Academician. This is a noun from 1748. 1A, a member of an academy for promoting science, art, or literature. 1B, a follower of an artistic or philosophical tradition or a promoter of its ideas. And number 2 is just the synonym academic. That's a weird word to say. Academician. And then we have academicism. Academicism. Man, I'm going to have to practice this. This is a noun from 1610. 1. The doctrines of Plato's Academy, specifically the skeptical doctrines of the later Academy, holding that nothing can be known. Compare to Pyrrhonism, Pyrrhonism. Number 2. A formal academic quality, as in art or music. Number 3. Purely speculative thoughts and attitudes. Academicism. I think that's how it's pronounced. Next, we have academic year, noun from 1828. The annual period of sessions of an educational institution, usually beginning in September and ending in June. That's definitely how it is in America. I know, I think other countries do it slightly differently, but that's generally when school is in session. Next, we have academy. This is a noun from 1549. 1A, a school usually above the elementary level, especially a private high school. 1B, a high school or college in which special subjects or skills are taught. 1C, higher education, used with the word the, as in the functions of the academy in modern society. 2, it just says cap in italics before the A. Not sure what that means, but I should probably check that out. The school for advanced education founded by Plato. 2B, the philosophical doctrines associated with Plato's Academy. 3, a society of learned persons organized to advance art, science, or literature. 4, a body of established opinion widely accepted as authoritative in a particular field. And that brings me to the fact that the Academy Awards are coming up in a couple of weeks as I record this. I don't know when exactly this will be posted, but I think it will be before February 24th, which is when they are. I have mixed feelings about the Academy Awards, but I do love movies, so I do try and watch them. In fact, last night, my wife and I just watched Roma. You can get that on Netflix. It's a good movie. And it's actually leading the pack with 10 nominations. And the etymology for academy is from the Latin academia, from the Greek academia, spelled A-K-A-D-E, with a line over it, M-E-I-A, which means gymnasium where Plato taught. Wow, that's interesting. Which is also from akademos, which is an Attic mythological hero. I don't know what that is. I also need to look that up. Fascinating. Next, we have Acadian, capital A-C-A-D-I-A-N, noun from 1705. 1, a native or inhabitant of Acadia. 2, a descendant of the French-speaking inhabitants of Acadia, expelled after the French loss of the colony in 1755. Especially, it says the word Cajun. That's a synonym. Acadian is the adjective. It's the same word, noun or adjective. I don't really know where Acadia is. I might have to go look that up on a map. And not a physical map, a Google map, because I don't have any physical maps. Next, we have A-C-A-I, acai. That's how it's pronounced. The C can be just a regular C, or it can also have the little line below it, which I don't know what that's called. This is a noun from 1868, a small, dark purple, fleshy, berry-like fruit of a tall, slender palm. And the scientific name for it is Euterpe oleracea. It's of tropical Central or South America that is often used in beverages. And it says also the palm. And with that, we will end this episode. Thank you for listening. I will talk to you in the next episode. Thank you. Hello, welcome to another episode of The Dictionary. If you want to email me, you can do that at dictionarypod@gmail.com, on Twitter @dictionarypod, and also a Patreon page if you want to give me a little financial support, since it does take time to make these. And also, you will get some exclusive episodes if you spend a certain amount of money, which currently is $5 a month. What those exclusives are, I am not entirely sure, but if you have any suggestions, I would be open. There's a lot of other books that are, kind of like dictionaries or encyclopedias that might be kind of fun to read. But first entry for today is going to be a fun one. What the hell does this say? Acanthocephian. Acanthocepha. Oh, that's an L. L-A-N. Acanthocephalin. And I'm just going to check the pronunciation. Acanthocephalin. Yep. This is a noun from circa 1889. And it just has a synonym. It just says spiny-headed worm. It's a spiny-headed worm. This is from the Greek akantha, A-K-A-N-T-H-A, which means thorn or spine, plus the word kephale, K-E-P-H-A-L-E, which means head. And there's more information at the word cephalic, C-E-P-H-A-L-I-C. Acanthocephalin. All right, next is acanthus. This is a noun from 1551. 1. Any of a genus, Acanthus of the family Acanthaceae, the acanthus family, of prickly perennial herbs, chiefly of the Mediterranean region. 2. An ornamentation, as in a Corinthian capital, representing or suggesting the leaves of the acanthus. And they have a little picture. It says Acanthus 2, and it's the top of a column, very ornamental. This is from the Latin genus name from the Greek acanthos, and acanthus from acantha, thorn. That means thorn. And I think that was a similar etymology for the previous word. Next is the word acapella, A-C-A-P-P-E-L-L-A. This is an adverb or adjective from 1864. And just the etymology real quick says, in a cappella, in chapel style. And the definition is without instrumentational accompaniment. So anybody who has even a slight knowledge of music was probably already familiar with this word. I learned quite a bit about a cappella when I was a child. There was a show, I think it was just like a 1 or 2 hour special. I think it was produced by Spike Lee, called Do It A Cappella, and it was filled with amazing a cappella singers. There was an album, a CD that I got and I listened to all the time, and still when those songs come up, I very much enjoy them. A couple of the groups that were on there that I can remember off the top of my head are the Persuasions. That's a group that is decades old. Also Rockapella. Some of you may remember them from the show Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. And Ladysmith Black Mambazo. That's an African group. They were also featured on Graceland, Paul Simon's Graceland. Many other really great groups on there. So, and of course, a cappella has had a big resurgence in recent years. Pentatonics, I know, is one of the big popular ones. Moving on. Acariasis. A-C-A-R-A-A. Did I say that right? A-C-A-R-I-A-S-I-S. Acariasis. This is a noun from 1828. Infestation with or disease caused by mites. That's not something you want. Next is acaricide. A-C-A-R-I-C-I-D-E. This is a noun from circa 1879. A pesticide that kills mites and ticks. Acaricidal is the adjective. And this is from the word acarus plus I plus side, C-I-D-E. And when you ever see C-I-D-E at the end of a word, it usually means something related to killing or death. Next we have Acarid, A-C-A-R-I-D, noun from 1881, any of an order, and then in parentheses we have acari, synonym acarina, with an A at the front, of arachnids, including the mites and ticks. So clearly this is related to the last couple of words. And acarid is also the adjective form. Next is acarus, or acarus. This is a noun from 1658. It says synonym is mite, especially one of a formerly extensive genus, Acarus. This is a genus name from the Greek akari, A-K-A-R-I, which means a mite. Next is acatalectic, A-C-A-T-A-L-E-C-T-I-C. Acatalectic. This is an adjective from 1589, not catalectic, as in acatalectic verse. So if you know what the word catalectic means, this is not that. This is from the Latin acatalecticus, which is from acatalectus, which is from the Greek akatalektos, A-K-A-T-A-L-E-C-K-T-O-S, which is from A plus catalegin, which means to leave off. And there's more at the word catalectic. I figured that. Next is acolicent. Acolicent. A-C-A-U-L-E-S-C-E-N-T. That C-O-U kind of threw me off. This is an adjective from 1854, having no stem or appearing to have none. Etymology is combining A plus the Latin colis, C-A-U-L-I-S, which means stem. And there's more at the word whole, H-O-L-E. Next is ACC. This is an abbreviation for the word accusative. And if you want to know what accusative means, you'll just have to wait a few episodes. Next is accelerando. Right off the bat, I'm assuming this is musically related, but can also be something else. This is an adjective from circa 1842. Means gradually faster, used as a direction in music. Oh, I'm so smart. This is from the Latin accelerandum, which is a gerund of accelerare. Yep. Next, we have another form of accelerando. This is 1889. Plural is el accelerandos. It's a noun, which means a gradual increase in tempo. Next is accelerant, or accelerant. Yeah, accelerant. Noun from circa 1909, a substance used to accelerate a process, as the spreading of a fire. So, if something were to make a fire spread faster, that thing would be called an accelerant. Next, we have accelerate, and this will be our last word for today. This is a verb from circa 1530. 1. To bring about at an earlier time, as in accelerate their departure. 2. To cause to move faster, as in accelerated his steps, also to cause to undergo acceleration. 3a. To hasten the progress or development of, as in accelerate our efforts. 3b. The synonym says increase, as in accelerate food production. 4a. To enable a student to complete a course in less than usual time. 4b. To speed up as a course of study. And then there is I think it's telling me it's a verb form. We have a new set of definitions. 1a. To move faster, gain speed, as in the car slowly accelerated. 1b. Synonyms are grow and increase, as in inflation was accelerating. 2. To follow an accelerated educational program. Acceleratingly is the adverb. And with that, we will end the episode. Thank you for listening. I do appreciate it. And please spread the word if you know anybody else who might be interested in hearing some idiot read the dictionary. Thank you, and goodbye. Hello, welcome to another episode of The Dictionary, read by me, Spencer. In case you didn't know, that was my name. First word for today is acceleration. This is a noun from 1531. 1. The act or process of accelerating, the state of being accelerated. 2. The rate of change of velocity with respect to time. Broadly, the change of velocity. Acceleration of gravity is our next entry, circa 1889. The acceleration of a body in free fall under the influence of Earth's gravity, expressed as the rate of increase of velocity per unit of time, and assigned the standard value of 980.665 centimeters per second, also called g. Not sure if you could hear, but my stomach just growled because I'm a bit hungry. So that's how fast we fall, I guess. 980.665 centimeters per second. I know enough of science to somewhat understand that, but the fact that there's a second per second on there kind of throws me off. Next, we have acceleration principle. Noun, circa 1941. A theory in economics. An increase or decrease in income induces a corresponding but magnified change in investment. Next, we have accelerative. This is an adjective from circa 1666 of relating to or tending to cause acceleration. And accelerating is a synonym. Next is accelerator. Noun from 1552. One that accelerates, as a muscle or nerve that speeds the performance of an action. I think I just dropped a pen. B. A device as a pedal for controlling the speed of a motor vehicle engine. C. A substance that speeds a chemical reaction. D. An apparatus for imparting high velocities to charged particles as electrons. E. An item of computer hardware that increases the speed at which a program or function operates, as in a graphics accelerator. Next is accelerometer, a noun from circa 1890, an instrument for measuring acceleration or for detecting and measuring vibrations. Etymology for this is the word acceleration plus O plus meter, M-E-T-E-R. Next we have accent, A-C-C-E-N-T, first form of it, a verb from 1530, 1A, to pronounce with accent. Stress is a synonym, 1B, to mark with a written or printed accent. 2, to give prominence to, make more prominent. So, for instance, in Spanish, sometimes there are little accent marks on top of usually vowels or maybe always vowels to show that there's you're supposed to accent that, you're supposed to emphasize that a little bit more. This is from the Middle English accenter, which is from accent, which means intonation. And this is from the Latin accentus, which is combining ad plus cantus, C-A-N-T-U-S, which means song. And there's more at chant. So chant and song and cantus or cantor. I know in the Jewish religion there's a person named a cantor, and I'm sure there are many other uses of that word. They're all an accent. They're all related etymologically. Second form of accent. This is a noun from 1530. 1. Ooh, this is a long one. 1. An articulative effort giving prominence to one syllable over adjacent syllables. Also, the prominence thus given a syllable. So I guess my Spanish example actually fits more with this one. Number 2. a distinctive manner of expression, as 2a, an individual's distinctive or characteristic inflection, tone, or choice of words, usually in plural. 2b, a way of speaking typical of a particular group of people and especially of the natives or residents of a region. I have an accent. I don't sound like I have an accent to myself, but people from different parts of my city, parts of my country, parts of the world, all are aware that I have some sort of accent. Where am I from? Nobody knows. Number 3, rhythmically significant stress on the syllables of a verse, usually at regular intervals. Number 4 is an archaic form. The synonym is utterance. 5a, a mark, and then in parentheses it says as that, and that. I can't really describe. They're just different accent marks that you see on top of the vowels. One kind of points up to the right, one points down to the right, and then there's another one that's like a little carrot top. It goes up and then it goes down. So a mark used in writing or printing to indicate a specific sound value, stress, or pitch, to distinguish words otherwise identically spelled, or to indicate that an ordinarily mute vowel should be pronounced. 5b, an accented letter. 6a, a greater stress given to one musical note than to its neighbors. 6b, synonym is accent mark. 7a, emphasis laid on a part of an artistic design or composition. 7b, an emphasized detail or area, especially a small detail in sharp contrast with its surroundings. 7c, a substance or object used for emphasis. 8, a mark placed to the right of a letter or number and usually slightly above it, as in 8a, a double prime, or 8b, just the synonym prime. And number 9, special concern or attention. Emphasis is a synonym, as in an accent on youth. Accentless is the adjective. And I think we'll do one more for today. Accent mark, noun from 1884. 1a, the synonym accent, and then it has 5a after that, which is basically directing you to the previous word, the 5a definition, which we read earlier. And then 1b, I know this is confusing, the synonym accent with the number 8 after it. And of course, that's leading back to what we just read. 2a, a symbol used to indicate musical stress. 2b, a mark placed after a letter designating a note of music to indicate in which octave the note occurs. And with that, we will end this episode. Thank you for listening all the way through, and I will talk to you in the next one. Goodbye. Hello, welcome to another episode of The Dictionary. I know I don't do this in every episode, but in this episode, we will be reading the second quarter of page 7. And we'll get right into it. First word is accentual. 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 No, this is not sensual. That's a different word, which we will read in the far future. This is an adjective from 1610 of, relating to, or characterized by accent, specifically based on accent rather than on quantity or syllabic recurrence, as in accentual poetry. And this is from the Latin accentus. It doesn't give me a definition of that word. Next, we have accentuate. This is a verb circa 1731. Synonyms are accent and emphasize, or also intensify, as in accentuates the feeling of despair. My stomach was growling there again. Accentuation is a noun. This is from the Middle English accentuatus, which is from the, did I say Middle English? That Middle Latin, or ML, something Latin. And that is from the verb accentuare, which is from the Latin accentus. Also, doesn't give me a meaning of what it is. Next, we have the word accept, verb from 14th century, 1a, to receive willingly, as in accept a gift. 1b, to be able or designed to take or hold, something applied or added, as in a surface that will not accept ink. Number 2, to give admittance or approval to, as in accept her as one of the group. 3a, to endure without protest or reaction, as in accept poor living conditions. I hope no one has to do that, but I guess sometimes it does have to be done. 3b, to regard as a proper, normal, or inevitable, as in the idea is widely accepted. And I'm just going to throw in my 2 cents, like climate change. That is widely accepted to be a fact. 3c, to recognize as true. Believe is the synonym, as in refused to accept the explanation. Like some people refuse to accept the fact that climate change is real. 4a, to make a favorable response to, as in accept an offer. 4b, to agree to undertake a responsibility, as in accept a job. 5, to assume an obligation to pay, also to take in payment, as in we don't accept personal checks. How many people still use checks? There's obviously some, but not as many. Number 6, to receive a legislative report officially. And then there's another form, to receive favorably something offered, usually used with the word of, as in a heart more disposed to accept of his. I'll read that again. A heart more disposed to accept of his. That's from Jane Austen. Acceptingly is the adverb, and acceptingness is the noun. The etymology for the word accept is Middle English from Anglo-French acceptere, which is from the Latin acceptare, frequently of accipere, A-C-C-I-P-E-R-E, which means to receive. And that is combining ad plus capere, which means to take. And there's more information at the word heave. Next we have acceptable, adjective from 14th century. 1, capable or worthy of being accepted, as in no compromise would be acceptable. 2a, synonyms are welcome and pleasing, as in compliments are always acceptable. 2b, barely satisfactory or adequate, as in performances varied from excellent to acceptable. Acceptability is a noun, acceptableness is also a noun, and acceptably is the adverb. Next we have acceptance. This is a noun from 1574. 1, an agreeing either expressly or by conduct to the act or offer of another, so that a contract is concluded and the parties become legally bound. 2, the quality or state of being accepted or acceptable. 3, the act of accepting, the fact of being accepted. Approval is a synonym. 4a, the act of accepting a time draft or bill of exchange for payment when due according to the specified terms. 4b, an accepted draft or bill of exchange. 5, acceptation is the synonym, the second definition. Next we have acceptant. This is an adjective from 1851. Willing to accept, that's the definition. And receptive is a synonym. Acceptation, noun from 15th century. 1, the synonym acceptance, especially favorable reception or approval. 2. A generally accepted meaning of a word or understanding of a concept. Next we have accepted, adjective from 15th century, generally approved or used, as in an accepted convention. Acceptedly is the adverb. Next is acceptor, A-C-C-E-P-T-E-R. Again, this word accept is starting to sound weird to me. Noun from 1585. 1. One that accepts. 2. Acceptor. Number 2 is a synonym acceptor, which is with an O-R at the end, the second definition. Next, we have acceptive, adjective from 1596. 1. The synonym acceptable. 2. The synonym receptive. Next is acceptor with an O-R. This is a noun from 14th century. 1. Synonym is acceptor, the first definition. That's what we just read. Number 2. One that accepts an order or a bill of exchange. Number 3. An atom, A-T-O-M, molecule, or subatomic particle capable of receiving another entity as an electron, especially to form a compound. And it says compare to the word donor, the 3A definition. And I guess that makes sense. Some sort of like an atom or a molecule is accepting an electron or something like that. And next we have the word access. First form of it, A-C-C-E-S-S. This is a noun from 14th century. 1A, the synonym onset, the second definition of that. 1B, a fit of intense feeling. Synonym is outburst. 2A, permission, liberty, or ability to enter, approach, or pass to and from a place, or to approach or communicate with a person or thing. 2B, freedom or ability to obtain or make use of something. 2C, a way or means of access. 2D, the act or an instance of accessing. 3, an increase by addition, as in a sudden access of wealth. And our second form of the word access, and the last word for today, a verb from 1962, to get at or gain access to, as in accessed the computer by phone. Etymology for the word access is Middle English from Anglo-French and Latin. Anglo-French is access, A-C-C-E-S, which is from the Latin accessus, which means approach, which is from the verb accedere, A-C-C-E-D-E-R-E, which means to approach. And there's more at the word accede, A-C-C-E-D-E. With that, we will end this episode. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye. Hello, welcome to another episode of The Dictionary. This is the third quarter of page 7. This is the top right section. First word for today is accessible. Adjective, 15th century. 1, providing access. 2A, capable of being reached, as in accessible by rail. That would be train rails. Also, being within reach, as in fashions at accessible prices. 2B, easy to communicate or deal with, as in accessible people. Number 3, capable of being influenced. Synonym is open, as in accessible to new ideas. I think we need to be more open and accessible to new ideas for sure. You know, we get very stuck in ourselves and what we think is right and the little world that we know, but we really do need to branch out more and learn about more about what's out there. Number 4, capable of being used or seen. Available is the synonym, as in the collection is not currently accessible. 5. Capable of being understood or appreciated, as in the author's most accessible stories, or an accessible film. Accessibility is a noun. Accessibleness is a noun, and accessibly is an adverb. Next we have accession, A-C-C-E-S-S-I-O-N. First form of it is a noun from 1588. 1a, increase by something added. 1b, acquisition of additional property as by growth or increase of existing property. 2, something added. Acquisition is a synonym. 3, the act of assenting or agreeing. 4a, the act of becoming joined. Adherence is a synonym. 4b, the act by which one nation becomes party to an agreement already in force between other powers. 5a, an act of coming near or to. Synonyms are approach and admittance. 5b, the act of coming to high office or a position of honor or power, as in her accession to power. 6, a sudden fit or outburst. Synonym is access. Accessional is the adjective. Second form of accession, verb from 1892, to record in order of acquisition. Accessorial is our next word, adjective from 1726. 1, of or relating to an accessory, as in accessorial liability. 2, of, relating to or constituting an accession. Supplementary is a synonym, as in accessorial services. Accessorize, spelled A-C-C-E-S-S-O-R-I-S-E, is the British variant of accessorize with a Z instead of an S at the end, and that is our next word, accessorize, a verb from 1939, to furnish with accessories or to wear clothing accessories. Next we have accessory, first form of it, also accessory with an A near the end instead of an O. This is a noun from 15th century, a person not actually or constructively present, but contributing as an assistant or instigator to the commission of an offense, called also accessory before the fact. And that's in italics. Accessory before the fact is in italics. 1b, a person who, knowing that a crime has been committed, aids or shelters the offender with intent to defeat justice, called also, in italics, accessory after the fact. 2a, a thing of secondary or subordinate importance. Synonym is adjunct, A-D-J-U-N-C-T. 2b, an object or device not essential in itself, but adding to the beauty, convenience, or effectiveness of something else, as in auto accessories or clothing accessories. Another form of accessory, this is an adjective from 1607. 1, assisting as a subordinate, especially contributing to a crime, but not as the chief agent. 2, aiding or contributing in a secondary way. Supplementary is the synonym. 3, present in a minor amount and not essential as a constituent, as in an accessory mineral in a rock. Accessory fruit is the next word, noun circa 1900. A fruit, as the apple, of which a conspicuous part consists of tissue other than that of the ripened ovary. Still not exactly sure what that means. Yeah. Accessory nerve, noun circa 1842, either of a pair of motor nerves that are the 11th cranial nerves of higher vertebrates, or vertebrates, arise from the medulla and the upper part of the spinal cord, and supply chiefly the pharynx and muscles of the upper chest, back, and shoulders. So I think simply what this is saying is the nerves that come from the spine near, probably in the neck, back, upper back region, that control the muscles of the upper chest, back, and shoulders. Next is excess time, noun from 1950. The time lag between the time stored information, as in a computer, is requested and the time it is delivered. And with that, we will end the episode. Thank you very much for listening. If you want to email me, dictionarypod@gmail.com. Twitter is @dictionarypod. There's also a Facebook page and a Patreon in case you want to give me your hard-earned dollars. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. And talk to you in the next episode. Goodbye. Hello, welcome to another episode of The Dictionary. This is the last section of page 7. And for those who like some of the behind-the-scenes information, this is the 8th episode I have recorded in one sitting. Recently, I decided to start posting these every single day because I realized that it was going to take a very long time just to get through the letter A. So episodes every day is what you've been seeing. I don't even know what episode this is. It's probably 27, somewhere around there. We're in the late 20s. All right, let's get into it. First word is, what does this say? Acciaccatura? No. Acciaccatura. 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 Sounds Italian. It is. Means crushing. This is a noun from circa 1819. A discordant note sounded with a principal note or chord and immediately released. So I'm assuming this is then musical. A discordant note sounded with a principal note or chord and immediately released. All you music nerds probably know what that is. Oh, have I forgotten to be saying hello word nerds at the beginning of these episodes? I think I have. I need to bring that back. Next word is accidents, or I'm so stupid. Accidents. Accidence. This is a noun from 15th century, a part of grammar that deals with inflections. So this is similar to, we recently read accent. I think that's related. So the etymology for this is Middle English from MF, I'm assuming that's Middle French, from the Latin accidentia, accidentia, which is inflections of words, non-essential qualities. Next, we have the word accident. This is a noun from 14th century. And by the way, since you now know that I've read 8 episodes in a row, you can kind of tell my voice is going. When I'm done with this, I'm going to have to go drink some water and maybe some hot tea. 1A, an unforeseen and unplanned event or circumstance. 1B, lack of intention or necessity. Chance is a synonym, as in met by accident rather than by design. 2A, an unfortunate event resulting especially from carelessness or ignorance. 2B, an unexpected and medically important bodily event, especially when injurious, as in a cerebrovascular accident. 2C, an unexpected happening causing loss or injury, which is not due to any fault or misconduct on the part of the person injured, but for which legal relief may be sought. 2D, used euphemistically to refer to an involuntary act or instance of urination or defecation. Number 3, a non-essential property or quality of an entity or circumstance, as in the accident of nationality. Next we have accidental, first form of it, adjective from 14th century. 1, arising from extrinsic causes. Synonyms are incidental and non-essential. 2a, occurring unexpectedly or by chance. 2b, happening without intent or through carelessness, and often with unfortunate results. Accidentally, spelled at the end T-A-L-L-Y or just T-L-Y are the adverb, and accidentalness is the noun. And we have some synonym information for this. The original word is accidental. There's also fortuitous, casual, and contingent. And those mean not amenable to planning or prediction. Accidental stresses chance, as in any resemblance to actual persons is entirely accidental. Fortuitous so strongly suggests chance that it often connotes entire absence of cause, as in a series of fortuitous events. Casual stresses lack of real or apparent premeditation or intent, as in a casual encounter with a stranger. Contingent suggests possibility of happening, but stresses uncertainty and dependence on other future events for existence or occurrence, as in the contingent effect of the proposed law. Next is the second form of the word accidental, noun from 1651. 1, a non-essential property. 2a, a note foreign to a key indicated by a signature. And that is related to music. 2b, a prefixed sign indicating an accidental. Next is accident insurance, noun from 1851. Insurance against loss through accidental bodily injury to the insured. Next is accident prone. There's a dash between those two words. This is an adjective from 1926. 1, having a greater than average number of accidents. Number 2, having personality traits that predispose to accidents. Next we have accidie, A-C-C-I-D-I-E. This is a noun from 13th century, and the synonym is acedia, A-C-E-D-I-A. Last word is accipiter, A-C-C-I-P-I-T-E-R. This is a noun from 1828. Any of a genus, accipiter, of medium-sized forest-inhabiting hawks that have short, broad wings and a long tail and a characteristic flight pattern of several quick flaps and a glide. And with that, we will end this episode. Thank you for listening. I'm going to go make some hot tea so I can warm up my vocal cords. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the next episode of the dictionary. And as usual, if you want to contact me in any way, there are some of those social media links in the description of the episode. First word today is acclaim. First form of acclaim, A-C-C-L-A-I-M, and we are at the top of page 8. This is a verb from 1606. Number 1, synonyms are applaud and praise. Number 2, to declare by acclamation. And there's a second form of this. It just says to shout praise or applause. I am acclaiming. All right, etymology for this is Latin acclamare, which literally means to shout at. And that is formed from adding ad and clamare, which means to shout. And then there's more at the word claim, C-L-A-I-M. Next is the second form of the word acclaim. It's a noun, 1667. 1, the act of acclaiming. 2, synonyms are praise and applause. Next word is acclamation. This is a noun from 1567. 1. A loud, eager expression of approval, praise, or assent. Number 2. An overwhelming affirmative vote by cheers, shouts, or applause rather than by ballot. Etymology, I'm guessing this is similar. It's from the Latin acclamation, acclamatio, which is from acclamare, and that is the same as the word acclaim. Next, we have acclimate, A-C-C-L-I-M-A-T-E. Verb from 1792, to adapt to a new temperature, altitude, climate, environment, or situation. To become acclimated. And the etymology is from the French acclimater, A-C-C-L-I-M-A-T-E-R, which is from combining a or add and climat, or I don't know where the emphasis goes, C-L-I-M-A-T, which just means climate. Next we have acclamation, noun from 1801, the process or result of acclimating, especially in physiological adjustment by an organism to environmental change. Next we have acclimatize, and at the end it's an S-E. This is the British variance of the same word with a Z, which is the next word. This is a verb from 1815. It looks like we've got a couple of different forms going on. There's also the noun form from 1614, and the noun says, an ascending slope as of a hill. And the only description for the verb is a synonym that just says acclimate. And the etymology is from the Latin acclivitas, A-C-C-L-I-V-I-T-A-S, which is from acclivis, which means ascending, which is formed from combining add plus clivus, C-L-I-V-U-S, which means slope. And there's more information at the word declivity. Next is accolade, A-C-C-O-L-A-D-E. This is a noun from 1623. 1a, a ceremonial embrace. 1b, a ceremony or salute conferring knighthood. 2a, a mark of acknowledgement. Award is a synonym. 2b, an expression of praise. 3, a brace or a line used in music to join two or more staffs carrying simultaneous parts. And the etymology is French accoler, accolare, which means to embrace. And this is from the Latin accolare, which is formed by combining ad and collum, C-O-L-L-U-M, which means neck. And there's more information at the word collar. So accolade and collar, C-O-L-L-A-R, are related etymologically. Next is accommodate. This is a verb from 1550. 1, to make fit, suitable, or congruous. 2, to bring into agreement or concord. Reconcile is the synonym. 3, to provide with something desired, needed, or suited. 4a, to make room for. 4b, to hold without crowding or inconvenience. 5, to give consideration to, allow for, as in accommodate the special interests of various groups. And then there's another form, to adapt oneself. Also, to undergo visual accommodation. Synonyms are adapt and contain. Accommodative is the adjective. Accommodativeness is a noun, and accommodator is another noun. Etymology is Latin accommodatus, from the verb accommodare, which is combining ad plus commodare, which means to make fit. And also from the word commodus, C-O-M-M-O-D-U-S, which means suitable. And there's more information at the word commode, C-O-M-M-O-D-E. I find it fascinating when two words are related in this way. That don't seem like they should be, but they are. Next, and probably the last word for today, is accommodation. This is a noun from 1603. 1. Something supplied for convenience or to satisfy a need. So that's the general definition for number 1, but now we have 1A. Lodging, food, and services, or traveling space and related services, usually used in the plural, as in tourist accommodations on the boat, or overnight accommodations. 1B. A public conveyance, as a train, that stops at all or nearly all points. 1C. The synonym is loan, L-O-A-N. Number 2. The act of accommodating, the state of being accommodated. 2A. The providing of what is needed or desired for convenience. 2B. Synonyms are adaptation and adjustment. 2C. A reconciliation of differences. Settlement is the synonym. 2D. The automatic adjustment of the eye for seeing. My eye is not adjusting correctly. Let's do that again. The automatic adjustment of the eye for seeing at different distances, affected chiefly by changes in the convexity of the crystalline lens. Also, the range over which such adjustments is possible. I did not expect to read a definition like that. And that was the last word for this episode. Thank you for listening all the way through. Until next time, this is Spencer signing off from the dictionary. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to another episode of the dictionary read by me, Spencer. First word is accommodationist, adjective from 1919, favoring or practicing accommodation or compromise. Another form of accommodationist is a noun from 1964, one who adapts to or compromises with an opposing view, especially a black who adapts to the ideals or attitudes of whites. What? I'm taken aback a bit by that, reading that in the dictionary. Not really sure what to do with that. Future Spencer here, I'm just going to jump in a little bit because obviously I had some issues with this definition. I looked it up and a couple of other places, specifically the dictionary app on my phone. And the definition there says there's two forms. The noun says a person who finds it expedient to adapt to the opinions or behaviors of the majority of people, especially as a means of economic or political survival. And the adjective says of relating to or characteristic of such a person, as in they criticized the senator's conduct as being accommodationist. I'm understanding more why my original dictionary decided to word it the way they did, but it really didn't seem necessary. Maybe they did that because it's from 1964, so maybe at that they're trying to describe it in the best way from when it was originally used. But I feel like they kind of needed to get with the times a little bit. Because it doesn't necessarily have to mean that specifically today. And I am looking at the original form of it, just says favoring or practicing accommodation or compromise. I think this new definition I found is a bit more specific and maybe a little bit better. So as you will actually hear in future episodes that I just recorded, I do have issues with this dictionary. So apologies for taking up so much time about this, but it has been an issue that I've been thinking about from really early on, actually. So if you have a suggestion on what maybe a new dictionary that I could use, I would love a physical book that I could just read through them all. I don't want to have to pay a monthly or yearly subscription to a dictionary website to have full access to it. Give me an email. dictionarypod@gmail.com. And now, back to the rest of the episode. Moving on. Accommodation ladder, noun from 1754. A light ladder or stairway hung over the side of a ship for ascending from or descending to small boats. Accompaniment. Accompaniment. Noun from 1697. 1. An instrumental or vocal part designed to support or complement a melody. 2a. An addition as an ornament intended to give completeness or symmetry. Synonym is complement. Complement. 2b. An accompanying situation or occurrence. Concomitant is a synonym. Concommitant. Accompanimental is the adjective. Accompanist. Am I saying that right? Accompanist. That just sounds kind of weird. Accompanist. Noun circa 1811. 1. As a pianist who plays an accompaniment. And for some reason, accompanist just sounds like it's missing something. But that's the word. Next is accompany. This is a verb from the 15th century. 1. To go with as an associate or companion. 2. To perform an accompaniment to or for. 3a. To cause to be in association, as in accompanied their advice with a warning. And as I've mentioned before in the past, when you read sort of the same word or similar forms of the same word over and over again, they start to sound really strange, especially when they're taken out of context. But 3b, to be in association with, as in the pictures that accompany the text. And another form of that, verb to perform an accompaniment. And the etymology for this is Middle English, accompagnen, which means to make an associate. And that is from the Anglo-French accompagner, which is from combining a or add plus cumpaing. I don't know the pronunciation, but I'll spell it. Cumpaing, which just means companion. And there's more at the word companion. Moving on, accomplice. Accomplice. This is a noun from 1584. One associated with another, especially in wrongdoing. Next is accomplish. This is a verb from the 14th century. 1. To bring about a result by effort, as in have much to accomplish today. 2. To bring to completion. Synonym is fulfill, as in accomplish a job. 3. To succeed in reaching a stage in a progression, as in would starve before accomplishing half the distance. That's from W.H. Hudson. And there's a date with a symbol. It says 1922. I don't know if that's when it was quoted or if that's when he died or what that means. Apologies for not knowing everything. 4. This is an archaic form of the word accomplish. 4a, to equip thoroughly. 4b, perfect or perfect. I'm not sure where the emphasis goes. That's a synonym. And there's another synonym, says C, perform, Perform. Accomplishable is the adjective, and accomplisher is the noun. Next we have accomplished, adjective from the 15th century. 1a, proficient as the result or of practice or training, as in an accomplished dancer. I'm going to interject here a little bit. My grandmother, who passed away just about 2.5 years ago, was an accomplished dancer when she was young. In fact, I think I remember hearing that she would have been given a scholarship to go to college for dancing, but instead she met my grandpa and decided to get married and have a family, and then eventually grandkids and great-grandkids. So she did not really get to become as accomplished as she already was, but she was very talented, so I've heard. Back to the definition of the word accomplished. It says also, skillfully done or produced, as in an accomplished film. 1b, having many social accomplishments. 2, established beyond doubt or dispute, an accomplished fact. Next is the word accomplishment. This is a noun from 15th century. 1, the act of accomplishing. Completion is the synonym. 2, something that has been accomplished. Achievement is the synonym. 3a, a quality or ability equipping one for society. 3b, a special skill or ability acquired by training or practice. Next we have the word accord, A-C-C-O-R-D. There are 2 forms, and these will be the last definitions for this episode. First form is a verb from the 12th century. 1, to bring into agreement. Reconcile is a synonym. 2, to grant or give, especially as appropriate, due or earned. Number 1 in a slightly different form. By the way, there are, when it says that it's a verb, it will either say VB or VI or VT. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know the differences between those. I'm sure it's not as complicated as my brain is thinking it is. And I also apologize because it's been about 30 episodes and I still haven't looked it up. So maybe I will do that when I'm done recording this. But the first definitions were VB, and this new one is VI. 1, an archaic form, to arrive at an agreement. Number 2, an obsolete form, to give consent. Not sure what the difference is between obsolete and archaic. I'm sure there's very minor differences. Number 3, to be consistent or in harmony. Agree is the synonym, usually used with the word with, as in a theory that accords with the known facts. And another synonym for the word accord is grant. Second form of the word accord, noun from 13th century. Etymology is Middle English from Anglo-French accorder, which is from Latin accordare, which is formed by combining ad plus cord or core, which means heart, and then there's more at the word heart. So accord and the word heart are related. Next form of the word accord, this is a noun from the 13th century. 1a, synonyms are agreement and conformity, as in acted in accord with the company's policy. 1b, a formal reaching of agreement. Synonyms are compact and treaty. 2, balanced interrelationship. Synonym is harmony. Number 3, obsolete. Assent is the synonym, A-S-S-E-N-T. And 4, voluntary or spontaneous impulse to act, as in gave generously of their own accord. And that is the end of the episode. Thank you very much for listening. Of course, feel free to share this with other word nerds that you know of, and we can make people aware of this thing called the dictionary. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Thank you. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the dictionary. First word today is accordance, noun from 14th century. 1, synonyms are agreement and conformity, as in accordance with a rule. 2, the act of granting. Next is accordant, adjective from 14th century. 1, synonyms are consonant and agreeing. 2, more synonyms, harmonious, correspondent. Accordantly is the adverb. Next is according as, That's the whole word, according as. This is a conjunction, I think it's saying, from 15th century. 1. In accord with the way in which. 2a. Depending on how. 2b. Depending on whether. And if is a synonym. That seems like something that we don't typically say in English too much these days, but it was probably more common back in the 15th century. Next, we have accordingly, adverb from 14th century. 1. In accordance. Synonym is correspondingly. Number 2, synonym is consequently, or so, S-O. Next is according to, preposition from 14th century. 1. In conformity with. 2. As stated or attested by. 3. Depending on. Next we have the word accordion, 2 different forms of this word. And right off the bat, of course, for me, I think of Weird Al Yankovic. I'm sure you've probably heard of who that is. He's had a very long career as a comedy music writer and performer. You probably are aware of a few of his songs, but go listen to more. He's extremely talented, and he's won a whole bunch of Grammys. So this is a noun from 1830, a portable keyboard wind instrument in which the wind is forced past free reeds by means of a hand-operated bellows. Accordionist is a noun, and of course Weird Al would be an accordionist. Etymology for this is from, I think this says German, accordion, A-K-K-O-R-D-I-O-N, which is from accord, which means chord, C-H-O-R-D. And that is from the French accord with C's instead of K's, which is from the Old French accord with just one C. And that is it for the etymology. Next is the second form of accordion, adjective from 1852, folding or creased or hinged, to fold like an accordion, as in an accordion pleat or an accordion door. Next is the word accost, A-C-C-O-S-T, a verb, VT, from 1597, to approach and speak to often in a challenging or aggressive way. The etymology is Middle French, I think, accoster, ultimately from the Latin combining ad plus costa, C-O-S-T-A, which means rib or side, and there's more at the word coast, C-O-A-S-T. Next is the word, let's see if I can pronounce this, accouchement, A-C-C-O-U-C-H-E-M-E-N-T. It seems French to me. Noun, yes. It just says F for French. That's all the etymology it gives. From 1744, the time or act of giving birth. Interesting. Accouchement. So if you're about to go into birth, you will be in accouchement, I guess. Next is accoucher, A-C-C-O-U-C-H-E-U-R. Noun, also French, from 1737, one that assists at a birth. Especially obstetrician, that's the synonym. So an obstetrician is an accoucher. I'm learning so much today. Next we have the word account, A-C-C-O-U-N-T. This is a long one, plus there's a second form of it, which will be the last word for today. This is a noun from 14th century. Number 1 is an archaic form. Synonyms are reckoning and computation. 2a, a record of debit and credit entries to cover transactions involving a particular item or a particular person or concern. 2b, a statement of transaction during a fiscal period and the resulting balance. 3a, a statement explaining one's conduct. 3b, a statement or exposition of reasons, causes, or motives, as in no satisfactory account of these phenomena. 3c, a reason for an action, basis is the synonym, as in, on that account I must refuse. For A1, a formal business arrangement providing for regular dealings or services as banking, advertising, or store credit, and involving the establishment and maintenance of an account. Also, synonyms are client and customer. 1A2, money deposited in a bank account and subject to withdrawal by the depositor. 4B, an arrangement in which a person uses the internet or email services of a particular company. 5A, synonyms are value and importance, as in, it's of no account to me. 5B, synonym is esteem, ESTEEM, as in, stood high in their account. 6, synonym is advantage, as in, turned her wit to good account. 7A, careful thought. Synonym is consideration, as in have to take many things into account. 7B, a usually mental record. Synonym is track, as in keep account of all you do. Number 8, a description of facts, conditions, or events. Synonyms are report and narrative, as in the newspaper account of the fire, or as in, by all accounts they're well off. Also, performance is another synonym, as in a straightforward account of the sonata. And then we have, it says, on account means with the price charged to one's account. On account of means for the sake of or by reason of. And then on no account means under no circumstances. And the last one is on one's own account. 1, on one's own behalf, or 2, at one's own risk, and 3, by oneself or on one's own. The etymology for account, by the way, is Middle English, accounte, which is ACOUNTE. It's probably just pronounced account. And then accompt, ACCOMPTE, which is from the Anglo-French account, ACUNTE, which is from the word accounter. I think that must be a French word, ACUNTER. It doesn't say what that means, though. Now we were on the second form of the word account. Don't worry, this one is much shorter. This is a verb, VB, from 14th century. 1, to think of as. Synonym is consider, as in accounts himself lucky. 2, to probe into. Analyze is the synonym. And now we are in another verb form, I think, VI. 1, to furnish a justifying analysis or explanation used with the word for, as in couldn't account for the loss. 2A, to be the sole or primary factor, used with the word for, as in the pitcher accounted for all 3 putouts. 2B, to bring about the capture, death, or destruction of something, used with the word for, as in accounted for 2 rabbits. And that will be the end of the episode. Thank you very much for listening. Again, if you want to get in contact with me in any way, there are a few social media links in the description. And until next time, this is Spencer with The Dictionary. Bye.